What is up, my friends? You are all very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda, where there is once again quite a bit for us to talk about. As I sit here, I think Arsenal are, what was it last count? 3-4-0 up, something like that, against Sheffield United. Hard to keep up, the goals are going in that quick. We're going to talk tonight about the search for Liverpool's manager. We're going to be talking, of course, about the news. I say news, I use that term very loosely. The report coming out of Germany. Now, Daryl, Mary, my friend in the chat, just want to pull you up a little bit on your comment I noticed before the stream. You said, Alonso going to Bayern, breaking news, Sky Sports. Absolutely 100% not was reported, not even close to what was being reported. And I would just remind you, please not to spread lies, mate, in the chat. That isn't even close to what's been said on Sky. They said he's looking favourably on the approach from Bayern Munich. And of course, we'll go through that tonight and debunk it for the nonsense that it is. And yeah, I'll give you more. I know, it's all right, mate. I get where you were going for with the gist of it, Daryl, but, it isn't what was said. It's, a sensationalised version of it. But that being said, I think you will lead me into a conversation, my friend, that we need to have about the reliability of the reporting around this from Sky Germany, and do we believe it to be true? I certainly don't. But then again, I do have issues around Sky in general and their reliability, or their, should I say, sincerity of reporting. But we'll get into that as we go on tonight. And of course, we're going to speak about the Egyptian FA and Mohamed Salah. We're going to speak about the Super League and the research, which quite simply is a great indicator of, get me research to show something that I want to show, and then we can go out into the world and say we have proof. I'll give you more detail as we go on tonight, don't worry. But A22, the company behind the Super League, have got research to show what they wanted it to show, basically. But I don't think any of us will believe it to be the case. As an example, they say that 65% of English football fans or Premier League fans want the Super League. 65%. Now, we'll break that down into specific clubs as the stream goes on. But did they not notice the protests all over the UK, right up and down? Every fan channel, every podcast, every media outlet, everybody condemning and laughing at the Super League and killing off the Super League. Did they miss that? But then again, they did survey a whole 900 and something people in the UK, I think. So we'll go through it in more detail as we move on. But it's just more nonsense from the Super League to jump up and down and say, look, we're still here. We're important. We're relevant. You kind of not though, lads. Anyway, loads to get through, and we will cover it all, as always, on tonight's stream where you guys are in charge. So, where to start off? I guess with the Alonso situation, right? That's probably the best place for us to start off tonight. So let's look at where it comes from. Do we believe it to be true? And go from there. So the report from Sky Germany states as follows. Should he leave Bayer Leverkusen this summer, XABI Alonso is leaning towards a move to FC Bayern. Talks have already taken place, not only with his management, but also with Alonso himself. The Spaniard would cost a compensation fee of between 15 to 25 million euro this summer. And that comes in from, surprise, Florian Plettenberg and Sky Sports. So let's look at this first and foremost. One, I thought we had this conversation already, Florian. I know that you want him to go to Bayern Munich. That has become abundantly clear. And of course, you're doing the bidding on behalf of Bayern and of course for the German public. Get it, understand it, but stop reporting it as a matter of fact. It is very much not the case, to my understanding, and to every other single rational person's understanding, that Alonso has leaning, or looked towards Bayern Munich. That isn't the case. Now also, if indeed, as per this report, they have spoken directly with XABI Alonso, Bayern, isn't that tapping up? Correct me if I'm wrong. We got in trouble for it with Mr. Virgil van Dijk. But if they have spoken directly to XABI Alonso while he's under contract at Leverkusen, without the permission of Leverkusen, because nothing in this suggests that Leverkusen gave XABI Alonso permission to speak to Bayern, it kind of feels a bit like tapping up. And also, any chance of a source? Because I know that you love to say Sky sources say ... but Sky sources say is just me mate down the road. We can all make up stuff. We can all say my sources say ... but it doesn't mean anything, does it? The proof of the pudding, as always, is in the eating. And I've not seen any other outlet of any note anywhere outside of Florian Plettenberg's head say that he leans towards Bayern. None. Zero. Not seen one anywhere else. So it seems to me that Florian Plettenberg is over in Egypt at the moment, in that big river. Boom, 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 boom. Denial. Yeah, look, it's nonsense. You know it is, I know it is, Plettenberg knows it is, Germany knows it is, Sky knows it is, but still, they continue to report it in the hope that we digest it. But yet again, I think this is an example of a narrative being spun that isn't based off any type of fact. Just my opinion, but then again, we're all allowed to just say what we think at this moment, right? So, I have Craig's sources indicate that XABI Alonso very much fancies a move to Liverpool and that he has his eye on a red brick property because he wants his property to match in with Anfield. So he's eyeing up a red brick property. I also believe that XABI Alonso doesn't like his laces tied in a specific way and he's leaning towards the UK because the way that they tie their laces in the UK is a little bit more favourably to that in Germany. So Craig's sources indicate that he's on his way to Liverpool for those obvious reasons. See, we can all play it. We can all make up stuff. The only difference is he has a multi-billion-pound corporation behind him and I have a green screen on my living room wall. But the point still stands. Bayern meeting directly with XABI is the most wishful thinking for some reporter to put out there. Again, with zero factual evidence other than the old reliable Sky sources indicate. But as we've talked about, they can indicate a lot of things. What we haven't seen any indication of is XABI Alonso wanting to take a step backwards to go to Bayern. Ask yourself this rationally, even if you're a Liverpool fan. Looking at his career trajectory right now, looking at the fact that he's at Bayer Leverkusen, doing bits, about to win the Bundesliga, and you look across to his former club in Bayern Munich, who are not really in unison behind the scenes. Players looking to depart left, right and centre. You've got Joshua Kimmich, who feels unloved at the club. You've got their left back, Alphonso Davies, who wants a little move over to Real Madrid. And it doesn't really paint a picture of a stabilised environment for Alonso to want to walk into. Whereas you look at the situation he's currently in at Leverkusen, a club where he's obviously got players that can perform to the levels he wants, about to win a Bundesliga with Leverkusen for the first time in their history, and potentially a treble. Now, look at that, you can think, okay, I could see how maybe he stays at Leverkusen. That's always been something what we've had to weigh up. But why would he take a backward step to go to Bayern? Because one, they've shown consistently in recent years they don't give their managers time. Two, the players look very unhappy. Three, the scenes behind the scene look a little bit messy. And four, he's about to leave a team that won the Bundesliga to go to a team who they beat to the Bundesliga. It's not really a pathway forward in his career, that is it? Or he could come to Liverpool, where Jurgen Klopp is departing, the club's in great shape, about to laden ourselves with a few more trophies, hopefully before the end of the year, a new sporting director to come in, and a set of fans who are looking to welcome him into the football club and welcome him back home. It doesn't really set the picture or paint a picture of an obvious move to Bayern. I don't understand how they can get away with it. That's the truth of all of this. I guess to tie it all together, I don't understand how they're allowed to get away with it. Now, I know that Sky Bet and all this, I know that they're technically different companies and stuff, but it feels grubby to me that you have an institution that broadcasts games, own a news channel, and also their brand, let's say, is attached to a betting company. Now, people will say, Craig, they're all owned by different companies. Yes, they may well be, but they also use the presenters on Sky Sports and Sky Sports News to flog the betting products. Why would that be? Why would that be now? It's almost as if, should somebody want to, and I'm not accusing Sky of doing it, but should somebody want to, they could invent a narrative, push the narrative, and change the odds of something. We have to live in a world where surely we can see that that's possible, right? Now again, I know that they're all technically listed companies, but a broadcaster, a news outlet, and a bookies, Now Never sat well with me, all of that together. 5-0, by the way, to Arsenal. 5-0. I'm so glad right now I didn't do a watch along of that game, because that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And there's nothing worse than when you're doing a watch along hoping for a miracle, i.e. Sheffield United to get something from the game, and then you just see goal after goal after goal after goal going in for, in this case, Arsenal. It would have been a long watch along. So I'm glad I'm here with you guys instead of torturing myself with that. So look, I'm going to ask you, really honestly, in a poll, do you believe the reports from Germany about Alonso? And it'll be a yes or no question. So let's get the poll up. Okay, there we go. So poll is up. Do you believe the reports in Germany about XABI Alonso? Yes or no? I'll leave that poll running for a while and you guys can have your say. Right. What do you want me to talk about next? The Egyptian FA and that situation, or the Super League and the poll that they released today that professes to show that football fans want the Super League? Let me know which one you want me to go for and I'll go through that next. There's lots of stuff to talk about tonight. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Good night, Zakir, or Zaka, excuse me. Great to have you with us. Right, I'm just looking through some of your comments, waiting for which one you guys want. It's actually a mixture. So you know what? I'm going to start off with the Super League, and we'll go backwards from there if that's all right, because it's pretty much split. So the company A22, or the company behind the Super League, they conducted a poll of football fans, and I'm going to read out some excerpts from this. Now, you can Google this yourself. Many outlets have covered it. I think my little shots here come from the Independent in the UK, if I remember correctly, that I took these screenshots from earlier on. So the poll that they've conducted says, and let me know if you agree with this or not, almost 2/3 of UK football fans are in favour of the creation of a European Super League, according to new research commissioned by the competition's promoters, which are of course A22. They say 65% of the 835 UK fans polled by the French company Opinionway were in favour or somewhat in favour of the new format put forward in 2023, with support especially high amongst Manchester City and Chelsea supporters. Now, why on earth could that be the case? That the two biggest set of plastic money-grabbing fans may be in favour of the Super League. But it's the numbers behind it that are even more dramatic. They say that 85% of Manchester City fans want a Super League, and 81% of Chelsea fans want a Super League. There's more though. Let's carry on. Of the 75 Manchester City supporters surveyed, so let's give credit where it's due here. Now, I'm being serious. Look at me for a second. I'm serious. Of the 75 City supporters they surveyed, so look, we have to understand that they've clearly travelled the length and breadth of the world to find 75 City fans. So we can't, just brush this off here. They've done the due diligence. They've searched high and wide to find 75 City fans. We need to take this shit seriously. So, of the 75 Manchester City fans, 85% of those 75 Manchester City fans show that they want to join the Super League. And 81% of the old Chelsea fans, of which 63, don't you know, 63 were in favour. 63 of those, that's 63 fans. Who the fuck did they survey? Does any of you guys take part in this survey? I don't know anyone that's taken part in this survey. Anyway, we go on. The lowest level of supporters among the big six were Spurs, where 55% of the 54 surveyed fans want the Super League. I don't know which idiots think we're going to buy this. Well, I do know. A22. I think they should have noticed that the public's reaction to the Super League told its own story. And I don't know who they surveyed here. I don't know any football fans, to my knowledge, that have been surveyed, that I'm aware of. That I know, I mean. I'm sure they've surveyed people. But they say that those who were surveyed were either mildly or fairly seriously interested in football. I don't know what to say. It's nonsense. Nobody wants the Super League. It's dead. Florentino Perez, Barcelona, Juventus, and maybe a few of the other clubs who are in financial catastrophe want their grubby little mittens on the Super League for more money, more power, more control. Let it go, dude. It's over. Bye-bye. And again, Premier League clubs can't join the Super League. Premier League clubs signed up to an agreement with the Premier League that they wouldn't be able to go and join the Super League. And we know from our own perspective, from Liverpool FC, we know that Liverpool's fan board can veto the joining of a Super League. So again, I ask, who did they survey? How on earth did they believe 65% of fans want the Super League? It's mental. They think 65% of UK fans want the Super League. It's mental. I don't get it. Like, it seems like they're just deluded at this point, but let them keep spending their money. Right, a little bit here coming in on the search for a manager. Because, look, I think we've covered enough of the Super League stuff. Let's be honest about it. You can conduct a survey and get a survey result to show whatever you want. Whether people want to believe that or not, it's possible. I could go out there and get a survey to show that I am the greatest looking human being on the face of the planet. And I could also get another survey to show that I'm the Elephant Man. Both of which would have no credibility. Other than the first one, clearly, which would, tell the truth. Right, look, a report today, I think this is from the Mail, said it is understood Liverpool are unlikely to veer drastically away from their predetermined list of targets amid concerns their plans could change once key appointments are made. Report goes on to say Liverpool's summer recruitment plans are currently being led by Dave Fallows and Barry Hunter. Fallows, head of recruitment, and Hunter, chief scout, are finalising Liverpool's transfer plans in the absence of a full-time sporting director. Now, that's concerning because it's difficult to bring in players when you don't know the system. And normally, having no manager wouldn't necessarily be a deterrent, but certainly having no manager and no sporting director, well, that's worrying when you're looking to bring in transfers or when you're looking to bring in players, because you don't know what manager you're bringing them in for. You don't know what system you're bringing them in for. So my concern at the moment is more around the sporting director search than the manager search. I feel like the manager search will take its course and will play itself out. But this is the appointment we need. The sporting director needs to be resolved soon. I keep trying to sound this alarm warning, but think of it this way. In the summer, we've got a Euros, and we need to conduct a search for a manager. We need to conduct search for players, backroom staff, and all of this in a shortened summer where there's international tournaments on. It's concerning. Now, look, they did say that the sporting director search they hope would be finished by the end of March, but lots of articles that I keep reading up on suggest that Liverpool, or John W. Henry in particular, have some fascination with Michael Edwards. And Michael Edwards, again, according to reports out there from credible journalists like the likes of Simon Hughes, doesn't seem to have shown any willingness to change his stance yet. So, whilst I understand why John W. Henry or FSG, and of course us as football fans, would look favourably on the potential of Michael Edwards coming back, at what point do you have to draw a line through that and move on? There has to be a cut-off point, because other targets are potentially being flirted with or lured elsewhere, and we need to get it sorted. So for me, that is priority number one. Sporting director needs to be sorted out ASAP. And look, there is lots of names who've been mentioned. Another one today that's been brought up is Bournemouth's chief, Richard Hughes. They say Bournemouth's chief, Richard Hughes' future is increasingly uncertain, with Roma and Liverpool interested in their technical director. So what do you guys think about this? Is it a concern for you? Or do you think everything will fall into place? This is one of the things I guess we haven't really had to discuss in the last 9 years or so, is this whole wholesale change. We've seen sporting directors come and go. We've seen tweaks at the club. But we've always known Jurgen is there. And we've always had that comfort blanket, if you want. Now we need a lot of changes done in in a short period of time. And it's starting to concern me a little bit. Not that I feel like we won't get it, but I don't know. There's a lot of work to be done. Craig, you're right. I'm glad Klopp announced his departure early, though. It's up to FSG to act fast, otherwise we'll suffer at the start of next season, said Bill. So, Coach Bill, I agree with you. Procrastination here isn't going to help. If Michael Edwards, in any way, doesn't want to come back to Liverpool, don't force him. Don't go after him. It's like a girl that doesn't want you, but yet you're spending all of your time pursuing that girl or lad. Well, there's many other fine girls or lads out there that may, may be the one. I don't know. It just feels like the reporting has all been almost a desperation to get Edwards back. And something Jamie Carragher said actually got me thinking about this. He was talking about the credit for the whole Klopp era. And again, I don't want to put words in Jamie's mouth, but I'm just giving you what I took from what Jamie said. Basically, Edwards' role in it has been exaggerated somewhat, and that the main protagonist, the main reason for the success is, of course, Jurgen Klopp. So I know some people, and I have to probably include myself in that, look at Edwards and think, well, Edwards coming back would be comfortable. It would be somebody we know. But ultimately, if he doesn't want to be here, don't twist the man's arm. Go find somebody else. If Edwards, with Ludonautics and the other few bits and pieces he's doing, if he's busy and wants to pursue a career elsewhere, let the man do it. You shouldn't have to be convinced to come back to Liverpool Football Club, is what I'm saying. You should be chomping at the bit to work for Liverpool Football Club. Elephant in the room. Liverpool are an attractive team to work at. FSG or not, Klopp literally got sick of them. So, I guess we don't really have a definitive answer to that, Tom, do we? One way or the other. But I think most of us feel like we would understand a potential incoming manager having concerns about budgets or the availability of funds in the summer transfer market. But we don't know. I guess maybe we'll find out more after Klopp departs. Maybe more stuff will come out, but he's always insisted that his relationship's been strong with FSG, but, we all feel like FSG are miserly. So maybe the truth's somewhere in the middle. Saka is so much better than Foden. Not for me. I disagree with you. I think Foden's a better footballer who plays in a different position, but I'd rather have Foden, if I'm being honest. I think Saka is he's good, don't get me wrong, but remember, they are playing Sheffield United tonight, so he's not out there performing against Barcelona. I think the deal is done because, as far as I know, Liverpool, they wouldn't have sat down after Klopp told them in November. See, that's a very good point, Pro. Whatever we think about FSG, they're not stupid. And they were the ones who brought Klopp in, appointed him in the first place, and found a way to get it done. So I do agree that I think they'll make the right decisions on sporting director and manager. I do have the belief they will get that done. And also, as you've said, mate, I don't think they've been sitting on their hands since Jurgen Klopp told him in November that he wanted to depart in the summer. Now, one of the reasons, of course, that they wanted the truth to come out and it to be public is because they wanted to be able to conduct their search in a less clandestine way and in a more open and transparent way. And now that we know Jurgen's departing, they can do that. Why did Julian Ward leave? Honestly, Tommy, I don't know the answer, mate. It felt weird though, right? He was at the club for quite a while, worked under Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards then handed over the reins to Julian Ward, and I don't know if he butt heads with Jurgen Klopp. I don't know is the real answer. But it did feel like a very abrupt end to his time at Liverpool, didn't it? Like, you're being groomed for a role that you get into, so you get to that position and then all of a sudden leaves. I don't know. It hasn't sat well with me since it's happened, but as I said, I truly don't know the answer. LFC Headits, I'm good, thank you, mate. Good. I'd rather sack a better output like Salah and Hazard. Better player, better scorer, but I respect your opinion. So, Hazard, I'm with you with. Look, I don't rate Hazard as highly as others. Saka, wonderful footballer, don't get me wrong. I just like Foden personally, but that is a personal preference, so I totally get why you like Saka, mate. No argument, he's a great young player. I just have always had a penchant, for want for a better phrase, for a player that plays between the lines. They're the type of players that catch my eye, but Saka's a very admirable young man, and certainly a very bright future ahead of him. So Ben Richardson says Steiten. It's got a little bit quiet, Ben, over Tim Steiten since his brother, Moritz or Morris, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, joined as the chief scout, I think, for West Ham. And then there was news coming out rather quickly that Tim Steiten was unhappy that he wanted more power and more control over transfers or something. But I tell you what I do like. I love that none of us know definitively what FSG are doing. So say what you want. If they announce tomorrow that they've got their sporting director, it will be another set of negotiations that they've managed to do behind the scenes, away from the glare of the public eye. And I like that about the FSG time at the club. I used to hate when Brendan Rodgers was manager and we've seen all the team leaks and all the news coming out. It felt grubby. It felt like the club were split down the middle. Not because of Rodgers, I'm not aiming this at him, but just that time when he was at the club versus now, a lot more stuff is done privately. And I like even Jurgen Klopp's appointment, the way that was done and handled. I like the way they operate in that way. So I firmly believe that Liverpool have done the right thing, registered their interest with Bayer Leverkusen. Alonso will know that he's in the hunt. I'm sure Liverpool would have reached out to his agent as well. But this is where I need to ask a question. I'm a Liverpool fan, as I'm sure you're aware, this being a Liverpool fan channel. So for me, I am somewhat tainted in my view of the situation with Alonso. I can't see how he'd go to Bayern over Liverpool. I just really cannot see it. Could I see him staying at Leverkusen perhaps for another year? I can see a world where he looks at that. I really can. But am I deluded in thinking that Bayern are really bottom of the bunch here? If there's three options for Alonso right now, Leverkusen for another year or so, come to Liverpool, or go to Bayern, I can't be the only one that thinks Bayern is bottom of that list. I just don't get why he would make that move. It doesn't make sense to me. Not directly from Leverkusen, not when Bayern aren't in a great position, not at this point of his managerial career. It just feels weird. So I don't see it as an option. But then again, as I said, I am a Liverpool fan. I do look at this with red tinted glasses. So top two, stay at Leverkusen, come to Liverpool, I think are far more likely than the Bayern thing. Yes, as Dave said, please do smash the like button. And also, we're going to be talking about the Liverpool kit that was leaked on Footy Headlines, the LeBron James crossover. I'm going to be bringing that image up on screen in a moment for you guys to look at and, of course, have your say on. But before that, we'll just get through this. Tanya said, Steiten update. Is there one? I mean, I don't know. Oh, man, what's this? 1 second. What's this Connor's post to me? Right, so again, this coming in from Plettenberg, and it said, I'm honestly getting sick of this dude at this point. Bayern have the confidence that if Alonso decides to leave, he will go to Bavaria and not Liverpool. They then go on to say, XABI believes that Liverpool and the Klopp inheritance is a difficult task to take on. You can lose more than you can win. Fuck off, Plettenberg. That is horsey poo of the highest level. So he thinks that Alonso will look at Klopp departing a potential quadruple winning team with an all-time high attendance at Anfield because of the Annie Road End being done, with all the supporters in great form and everybody wishing Alonso to welcome him home, is, what's the phrase he used? Let me just get this phrase back because I want to read out exactly what he said. Is a difficult task to take on. But going to Bayern, who have just been gazumped by Leverkusen in the league and who are a bit of a shit show and whose players are what now, that's a better job. So they're not giving Alonso any credit here, basically. So reading through what Plettenberg said there, it's almost like he's scared to come to Liverpool because you're taking over from Klopp. Oh, well, I'm a Liverpool fan. I feel like I can speak on this. I think we understand the next manager, whomever it might be, isn't Jurgen Klopp. But I think if there is somebody that can come in and instantly have credibility with our supporters, it is Xabi Alonso. And Liverpool fans will be patient. Liverpool fans will understand it's a transition. No, I'm honestly so sick of this nonsense coming from Plettenberg and out of Germany. It's fanciful. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see where he ends up. Because I tell you what, I will be astonished if it's at Bayern Munich. I mean, truly. And I'd go as far as to say this. Let me know if you agree with me on this or not. It is definitely not a now or never for Alonso at Bayern. But I feel like it's potentially a lot more now or never for Liverpool. Maybe never isn't the right word, but now or not for the foreseeable. You can see the Bayern job coming up again in 2 years. I'd be very surprised, unless the FSG appointment is so far wrong, if the next Liverpool job's available in 2 years. So I think if he wants to manage at Liverpool, and they are seemingly on the list of his 3 clubs, this is your time, kid. Step up. Do you want the job or not? And I'm going to go even further. Not because I feel like I need to, but because I want to. Like I say all along, with any player, coach, manager, employee, if you need to be talked into coming to Liverpool Football Club, then you're not that guy. And that applies to Alonso or anybody else. This is Liverpool Football Club. This is Liverpool Football Club in a really good place with great players, a great setup. You shouldn't need to be convinced. You should be begging. You should be crawling over broken glass to manage Liverpool Football Club. It is the pinnacle of your career. So, like I said about sporting directors, I don't care who you are. You shouldn't need to be convinced to join the greatest club in the world. You should be running with open arms. Now, I can get it if Alonso wants to stay at Leverkusen. I've always said that. I'd be upset, as in disappointed, but I could get it. No world do I think he's looking at Bayern and thinking it's a better fit. I think this is once again another example of a really big outlet using their credibility to steer the narrative of a conversation in hoping that the public perception steers the actual decision. I'm being very careful in the words I use here, but if I had an island somewhere, I don't know, let's call it Bullshit Island, and I was looking for a president, somebody to really show what I feel about Bullshit Island. Right now, Florian Plettenberg would be the commander-in-chief of that island, because I don't see any consistent reporting to back up what I'm calling his delusions outside of anywhere other than Sky Germany. Show me one outlet who say the same. Just one outside of Sky Germany. Or show me an outlet outside of Germany that would say the same. Not seen it. And I'm going to say this now. your credibility's on the line, Plettenberg. You've made some big claims. You've talked a lot. Let's see in the summer where Alonso ends up. Because I think you're full of it. I think a lot of the football watching public think you're full of it. And I think this whole narrative, well, I think it's bullshit. I think it's used to steer anger and clicks. Like now, we're talking about it. I'm angry about it. We're discussing it. See how it works? I think Sky in general have a lot to answer for in recent times with a lot of their reporting. How long can you hide behind Sky sources? What does it mean? Truly, what does it mean? Is it any different to me saying a mate down the pub told me? Because, let's be honest, they're both non-committal. I don't have to prove anything, nor do they. It's weird that they can just say, well, we're told this, Sky sources. Well, who are the sources? We can't tell you. Why can't you tell us? Because then the sources won't tell us again. See the circle? Goes around and around and around. And ultimately, it's usually bullshit. Craig, as an example, if Alonso does accept the Bayern job, does he still think he'll get the Liverpool job? I can't answer that question. I don't know what's going on inside Alonso's mind, but objectively, you know, he's a similar age to myself. If I was in his position, I would be... How do I phrase this? What Plettenberg has said there is basically that he doesn't back himself. Because that's what I've read. If he has doubts about inheriting the Klopp mantle, then you're doubting yourself. I don't believe that XABI Alonso at any point in his professional football career has doubted himself. Be it as a player who won the World Cup, the Champions League, La Liga, the Bundesliga, and I'm sure a whole host of other stuff. I don't believe for 1 second that man doubts himself. Or that he thinks the Liverpool job after Klopp is too big. I think, again, it's nonsense. But I also think they're doing Alonso a disservice. That's just me, though. All of Bayern, Sky's, Germany's top 3 journalists are all self-professed to be Bayern-centric. I know, it's weird. It's really, really weird. And I don't see how people don't call it out more. Right, we haven't talked about the Salah stuff yet. So, Egyptian FA board member Ihab El Komi has said if Mohamed Salah is ready and will be keen on his presence, otherwise a different talk will be held at the appropriate time, even up to the date of the international agenda. If Salah plays in any match with Liverpool, he will be ready and we will call him up to join the Egyptian national team. You know how I feel about this. I don't feel it's in the best interests of Mohamed Salah. I don't feel it's a good look for the Egyptian FA. I think their stance is petty and that they're trying to stand up to a threat that isn't there. And the common sense outcome is let Mo rest. Nobody needs to see him play in a non-tournament or qualification based friendly against New Zealand. And I don't know why they keep looking to be offended by it or for a fight. It just really baffles me. Now, I'm hoping that you guys can help me out here. Because obviously Mohamed Salah is the first Egyptian player that we've had at Liverpool. So I don't know if this is normal for the Egyptian FA. I don't know if El Ghazi or any of the other players have similar nonsense with their clubs to deal with. But I can't help again but just look at the difference between Cameroon and Onana and how that situation was dealt with versus how we were heavily handed in how we were perceived for the whole Mohamed Salah thing. I just find it weird. Like, just let the dude have a rest. If Mo thinks he's tired, let him have a rest. Didn't XABI want his kid to go to Liverpool, and seeing our youngsters achieve greatness will surely inspire him and his son during the same. I agree. I think Alonso will look at Liverpool's team and their academy and go, oh, hello, I can work with that. Yes, maybe one or two additions I'd like to bring in, but I can work with that. Thank you, Harry, for your super chat. I also agree with Jim and his comment that said we should not put all our eggs in the basket with Alonso. Jim, I agree with you on that, mate. And I'm going to move on to talk about Ruben Amorim in a moment, who, if I'm reading your comments correctly from earlier, I believe you're a fan of. So you are right, mate. But this at the minute is all he said, she said, right? We don't know until we hear from the club, as in our club, or Alonso makes a statement. As of right now, all we know is XABI Alonso is the Leverkusen manager. So on that, and in the spirit of your comment, let's talk about Ruben Amorim. So reports today have said Liverpool are monitoring him, have sent scouts over to watch some of Sporting's games for him and for Diamonde. I think he's now turned 39 years of age. And I was reading some stuff earlier on his style of play that I wanted to... Sorry, one second. I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, I believe he's loved by the players and fans at Sporting Lisbon. I believe his footballing philosophies are pretty attractive to how we'd like to see the team play. But I think I'm also comfortable with him as the second option. All along through this search, De Zerbi never felt right. Nagelsmann felt like a bit of a potential strange choice. Amorim, for me, seems like a man who carries himself like a potential Liverpool manager. And there's some really good pieces written in The Athletic about this. And I've pulled a couple of sections of an article about Ruben Amorim that I'd like to read out to you guys now, if you don't mind. And I'll get back to in a second. I just want to get to JC Super Chat. But it's a really interesting read, this, so bear with me. JC said, how's the Boston event looking? Honestly, sparse. That's the honest answer, bud. We are trying our best to keep promoting the event. But as of right now, I wouldn't be expecting it to be busy. But come rain, hail or shine, come 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, we'll be there. We'll be having fun. We'll be telling you guys everything that you want to know about the channel, the industry. We'll be talking about our football club and we're going to have a good time. But yeah, it's been a slog, mate. I'm not going to lie. It's been very difficult to tempt people in. And as I said, when we've tried to reach out to the Boston official Liverpool Supporters Club and that, we've been stonewalled. So it's been a difficult process. One I'll certainly learn a lot from. But I don't regret it one bit, because I'm looking forward to coming to Boston and having a chat and fun with you guys on the night. But Ruben Amorim, so let's talk about him. So this piece, as I said, you can find in its entirety on The Athletic, and they basically weigh up the options for Liverpool outside of Alonso. So it says Ruben Amorim plays with a strict 3-4-3, but has similar principles based on high possession and high intensity to regain the ball in advanced areas. Such is the transition of modern day football that Amorim's style has become more direct in attack this season since the arrival of what they describe as a battering ram in Victor Gyökeres, who thrives on runs into the channel in transitional moments, music to the ears of a certain Darwin Núñez, you would expect. It goes on to say, not only has Amorim evidenced his desire to bring young talent into the first team, including Gonzalo Inacio, Matheus Nunes, Nuno Mendes and Ousmane Diomande, the 39-year-old CV is particularly impressive in improving the quality of the team with the resources he has at his disposal. Sounding very FSG friendly here so far to me. Amorim is known for his man management skills and building positive relationships with his players. He may not have had the opportunity to work with the managers Alonso has, but he has learned from playing under the respective experienced Jorge Jesus at Benfica. Importantly, he would be attainable this summer. Reports suggest he has a release clause in his contract of around 10 million euros, a relatively modest figure for a highly rated manager who is expected to be in demand with Barcelona, another European giant looking for a new leader. They also go on to speak a little bit about Arne Slot, the Feyenoord manager, and they say Slot falls into this category, having led Feyenoord to only their second Eredivisie title in 20 years this season, losing just 2 games in the process. Slot will commonly set up with a 4-2-3-1 formation in possession, using a midfield double pivot to progress centrally through the first line of pressure beyond the high pressing, clinical attacking football evidenced by the playing style. The 45-year-old has shown that he can achieve success without frivolous spending, a trait which will no doubt be attractive to FSG. They go on to say, Feyenoord have not spent more than €8 million on a player in the club's history, with revenue that is comfortably trumped by Dutch rivals PSV Eindhoven and Ajax. The business model that Feyenoord have, Slot has demonstrated his penchant for improving the value of the players he has and promoting youth from the academy. Sound familiar, they say? Goes on to say, Slot was highly coveted by Spurs last summer and was close to agreeing a move to the North London club before choosing to remain in the Netherlands and extend his contract with Feyenoord to 2026. At the same time, Slot has said his wish was to stay at Feyenoord and continue to build on the foundation that has been laid over the past 2 seasons. Whether Slot could be prized away from the Netherlands this summer is unknown, but the data shows how his aggressive, dominant style of play is ideally suited to Liverpool's current crop. So that is a little summary of Amorim and Arne Slot, the 2 managers that I pulled out here as being ones that I think may be of interest to the club generally and to you guys for a conversation. Right, there we go. So, sorry that was a long read, but any thoughts or questions you guys have around either of them, please do fire it into the chat. Will there be any clips from the live show? Not sure, is the honest answer. It's shocking nobody's screaming for Linders. He can continue doing exactly what Klopp has been doing. Well, he's ruled himself out. So that's why nobody's screaming for Linders. He even did an interview where he said that he knew once Klopp announced that the project was coming to an end that he wanted a clean break and move away. So that's why I think he's not being considered, because he's ruled himself out of it. Really wish I could be there to support. Unfortunately, the wrong side of the country, said Cam. All good, buddy. All good. It is what it is. This is, to me, I don't really... I'm looking forward to going over to Boston and having fun and seeing the city and chatting with Liverpool fans who show up on the evening. I'm not going to cry about it either way, mate. It's fine. It's all good. It's a pleasure to be able to come over. 6-0. My God. 6-0 now in the Arsenal game. Right, so give us your take. That's a bollocks of an international club. I've lost all respect for them. I don't know who that's about, Tanya. For the love of God, no Dutch managers, please, said Reds. Yeah, so I do weirdly feel like the jump from the Eredivisie across might be quite a big one. But then again, I suppose you could make the same argument for Ruben Amorim and the jump across from the Portuguese league. But I do think he has something about him, Amorim. He carries himself in a way that I like, in all honesty. Just reading through more of my notes just in case there's something else I've missed here. 1 second. Oh, Neil Mellor. Former Liverpool player Neil Mellor has said, Núñez scored 37 seconds after the 8 minutes added on had passed. In that injury time, Forest managed to get 2 players booked for time wasting. Canade went down after being clattered. Play stopped for 30 seconds. And the Forest coach kicked the ball away. So again, pointing out the hypocrisies of the crying from the Forest fans over the 8 minutes. You think at this point, people realise 8 minutes is the minimum added on at this point, and that if there are stoppages inside that 8 minutes, they will be tagged on at the end. Now, I don't like that Paul Tierney hasn't been given a Premier League game this weekend. I think that's not a good look, because you're punishing him for drop ball. And like I've said all along, I don't see anybody up in arms about the drop ball we didn't get earlier in the first half. It feels like because they're too shit to score, we have a problem. They got a drop ball with their goalkeeper. They didn't score from it, but all of a sudden, because we got a drop ball with a keeper and we did score from it, it's a monumental error. No, they're just monumentally shit. Sorry. Lost all respect for Forest during this process. And their tin pot owner, standing on the side of the pitch trying to intimidate officials. He can fuck off. And that's when he's not throwing his lanyards into people's front gardens when they're in London at games. Maybe stop signing everybody and try and focus on the club and doing things properly and shut up. It looks terrible. Forest, you lost. Get over it. Tough shit. I'm sorry, I've no sympathy at this point. The whole thing is a mountain out of a molehill. It's nonsense. And again, where's all the fume about the singing about poverty and all? People need to get their priorities in order. What do we want the world to be in discussion over? A drop ball? Or people being mocked because of their economic circumstances? Which one of those is potentially a bigger issue? Well, according to the mainstream media, you wouldn't see anything about the reporting on the singing about money and poverty and all this other stuff, because, as I keep saying, Scousers apparently are fair game. Hypocrisy, it's just incredible. But anyway. Mail Sport, Liverpool play with risk under Jurgen Klopp, who expects his defenders to be capable on the ball, leaves them with huge areas to run. These qualities in Gomez prompted an inquiry from Spurs in January. Look, we've been very fortunate this season that Joe Gomez has been able to play in a whole host of positions, both fullbacks, centre-back, and now in defensive midfield. He is he's been our Swiss Army knife this season. He really has. Oh, and for Forest Fan TV. Oh, yes. They can also do one. I don't know if you guys seen this, but they posted almost gloating of their fans singing "Sign On, Sign On." Like, imagine a fan channel posting to acknowledge or show that their fans have been mocking other people for not being able to get a job or being in poverty and thinking that that's okay. I don't know what to say, honestly. I don't know anybody at Forest Fan TV. I didn't even know they existed until after the post. But for the love of God, be better. Just be better. Be a better human being. And think before you post. I don't know what else to say. It's honestly embarrassing from them. And more than embarrassing, it's pathetic. I feel sorry for Tierney. He made one mistake that had no effect on the overall result and he's being punished for it. Compared to all the other mistakes he's made unashamedly over the years, this feels like a weird one for him to be punished on, right? A drop ball. The whole thing just feels like they're trying to build a narrative to increase pressure, to look unfavourably at Liverpool yet again. I don't get it. LeBron James jersey. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you. I would have forgotten. I am ex-player. Thank you. I'm going to bring it up on screen, full screen now for you guys to have a look at. So here is the LeBron James shirt. That is the one that Footy Headlines have leaked to say will be released. So as you can see, a couple of things about it initially. The teal is a blue-green colour we've used before, so that makes some sense. And it kind of follows the similar football jersey patterns with the different material at the top of the shirt and then the stitched-in part. What I don't like about it is the "You'll Never Walk Alone." It is incredibly cringy to me. I don't like the stuff that's printed on the shirt. It says things like "Strive for Greatness" and other pound shop motivational speaker talk. I don't like it. I don't like LeBron's logo, but that is what it is. I mean, there's no way on earth I would spend money on something that has "You'll Never Walk Alone" plastered across the front of it and phrases just all over it. I think it's shit. But these things are personal preferences and I'm sure other people love it. For me, I've been massively underwhelmed with the LeBron crossover so far. And as I said, juxtapose that with the PSG Jordan stuff and tell me which one is a better set of stuff. It's by far the Jordan stuff. I wanted the LeBron stuff to be nice because, LeBron's a GOAT and it's great having him involved with the football club. But I don't know who's advising him on this stuff, but it's very... I don't know a different word other than condescending. Because we have this phrase in Ireland called paddywhackery, where sometimes when tourists come over, things are hammed up a little bit. The whole turla. This feels like a little bit of leaning into the cheesy, cringy, you'll never walk alone stuff. I don't know. It just feels like I don't really know much about Liverpool, but here's a few phrases, so bang. I don't know. I find it a little bit condescending. So let's see what you guys think of the shirt. We've an 8 out of 10 from David Coughlin, a 7 out of 10 from Vara Joshi. I actually like it, said Raccoon. 1 out of 10 at best, said Paul Summerfield. 2 out of 10 for Stan. 4 out of 10 for Warrior. 1 out of 10 for Stu. I don't know, lads. I don't know what to say about it. Obviously, I don't like it. I just don't. And I think its aim is to appeal to a particular set of fans. Stu, 1 out of 10, 0 out of 10 for Andre Nielsen, 4 out of 10, not good for Anthony, 4 out of 10, looks ass for Casper's photography. Imran said 10 out of 10. Cool. Craig Fairbrother said 8 out of 10, 5 out of 9 for Pronoun Dilemma. Green Cohort 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10 for Tactics Master, 3 out of 10 for Ben Moe as well. Yeah, it feels a little bit like it's aimed at I don't know what the phrase I'm looking for here is. I don't think it's aimed for the English, Irish, Scandinavian match-going fans. I think it's aimed for the just found the football club, trying to understand the culture, and people who are new to the fan base and who are welcome to the fan base, by the way. I don't mean this to sound like I'm having a pop at anyone, but I feel like there's a very specific niche they're trying to sell this shirt to, and I won't be buying it, and I don't know anybody who would be buying it. That's my take. It'll be reduced to $9.99 in the Sports Direct bargain basket by January. I just don't get it. It's like, let's throw a load of cringy phrases on a top and throw it out there. Like, all it's missing is that this is more and a few other cringy bits and pieces thrown onto it that, I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't like it. It's aimed at LeBron fans, said JC. And yeah, perhaps. Obviously, not being an NBA fan myself, I don't really know the demographic of particular LeBron fans, but I don't know. Just, it won't be something I'll be parting with money for anyway, but I don't think I'm the intended target. Jansk said, I like the shirt, they had to put something on it. Well, you're a United fan, mate, so we should have put 7-0 on it, right? Probably would have, it would have endeared itself to me more so. It's unique, said Imran. Nah, it's not unique, mate. It's shit. For me. It's a personal thing. And I get it. Some people will buy it, some people won't buy it. I would be in the won't buy it category. But that's just me. It's like the whole baseball jersey thing. Like, at least that had a little bit of something about it, you know? Do you remember the one I'm talking about? The pinstripey kind of... That at least tried to do something. I don't know what that jersey's trying to do. The Warrior shirts and New Balance shirts are way better, said Jay and CK. I agree. Love them. Love the Warrior New Balance stuff. Particularly the New Balance gear. I thought that was a very good time for club branded stuff. What's this? So I guess I just want to draw your attention to this. Former Liverpool Director of Research, Ian Graham, has written a book called How to Win the Premier League, the inside story of football's data revolution, and it will be out this summer. Genuinely, I think that'll be a fantastic read, and definitely one I'll be spending my money on. I'm always keen to see how football's evolving, and obviously data and data-driven research is a huge part of modern football. So yeah, I think that's definitely a book that'll be in my Amazon account or in my Amazon basket. So again, How to Win the Premier League by Ian Graham or Dr. Ian Graham. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that book coming out in the summer. I think it'll be a very interesting read. FC Cal said, this is classic LeBron brand empty wannabe platitudes. Yes. Now I don't know if that's on brand for LeBron, but I love what you've said in the second part of it, because that's a far more intelligent way of phrasing it than I was capable of. So yeah, I agree with you. Wannabe empty platitudes, or empty wannabe platitudes. I agree. I like it. But why is he now a designer? It's very strange. I think it's just because he's part of the FSG ownership group. He's a Nike athlete. It just obviously feels like a crossover that works. And I'm not against the crossovers, by the way. I love the idea of the crossover with Converse. I think that was an interesting one. But if you offered me the LeBron stuff versus the Jordan stuff that I've seen on PSG, I know which one I'd be taking, and it's very much the Jordan gear. Norse Redman said, worst case scenario, we don't get Alonso and Amorim gets picked up by United. I don't think Amorim would be stupid enough to take the United job. I hope that whole thing about them being interested in what's his face. This is where I have my blank of the day. Former Chelsea manager. This is where I hope... refresh. It did lag. It did cut out for a second. It definitely did on my side. I could see it go for 1 sec, so maybe refresh. But it's not a sound thing, but you are right. There was a disruption in the stream. 100% agree. Just refresh. It's not a sound thing. It's a stream spike. Graham Potter, thank you. Yes, Graham Potter. That would be hilarious. I'd love to see them go after Graham Potter, because I think United fans would lose their mind. Tuchel would be an interesting one. Zidane, another interesting one maybe at United, but I don't think that they're going to see out the summer with Ten Hag. I really don't. So again, as I said, it was just a stream spike thing. I do apologise. I could see it happening here at my end as well. So please just refresh if you can. Some more stuff here that I haven't gone through yet. The officials. Let's go back over the officials for the Manchester City game. I'm sure you've probably seen them, but just to confirm, the referee for the Manchester City game will be Michael Oliver. Assistants will be Stuart Burt and Dan Cook. Fourth official, David Koo. And VAR will be Stuart Atwell. Assistant VAR, Nick Hopton. So they are the officials confirmed for our game against Manchester City. What's the Arsenal score at the minute, by the way? If you'd be so kind. A Liverpool player with number 70 would be class banter. I like it, Jens. Yes, it would. It would be good indeed. How much are your hoodies? I've no idea. I think they're usually about 40 quid or something, Paul. I usually buy them when they're on sale, in all honesty, and buy a few of them. Oh, it's 6-0, is it? 6-0 with what? 20 or so to play? My God. Now, on one thing, don't get wrapped up in the goal difference yet. I know a lot of people are losing their mind about Arsenal scoring goals and the goal difference changing. I would say don't fall into that trap yet. There's still 11 games to go after this game tonight for Arsenal. Way too early, in my humble opinion, to start worrying about goal difference. You know, chasing a goal difference can end badly. Just look at what happened with Crystal Palace when we played them the year in 13-14. So I would say don't focus on the goal difference until the last 4 or 5 games maybe. Just keep it plodding along. Interesting though, the supercomputer has been back out, by the way. Oh yes, you didn't think I was going to be talking supercomputers on this stream, but there have been developments on this that I think you'll enjoy. Where is this one? Is it this one? Right, so OCB Scores have created a supercomputer to attempt to predict how the final league table shall look this season. This is pulled together by statisticians who run codes which take into account varying factors, including current form, win percentages, and betting patterns to determine the final outcome. This study found, you're going to like this, that Liverpool will win the Premier League by a single point ahead of Manchester City, who will finish on 85 points compared to Liverpool's 86. The gap is expected to grow slightly to third place Arsenal, who they expect to finish on 82 points. So, Supercomputer said Liverpool win the league with 86 points, Manchester City second with 85 points, and Arsenal in third with 82 points. I'll take that, please, Supercomputer. You can go ahead and print that off. A player Liverpool have been linked to who has a release clause that's been confirmed as well. Alan Valera from Porto. So Liverpool are said to be considering triggering the £60 million release clause of Porto's Alan Varela. The 22-year-old left-back joined from Boca Juniors last summer, and the defensive midfield... No, excuse me, I'm saying this wrong. The 22-year-old left Boca Juniors. My apologies. Let me start that again. The 22-year-old left Boca Juniors last summer to head for Portugal, and the defensive midfielder has more than made his mark during his debut campaign. Varela particularly caught the eye in his side's recent 1-0 win over Arsenal in the Champions League. He's under contract till 2028 and has a €70 million or about £60 million release clause. That comes in from O Jogo, who are a Portuguese media outlet. So again, just to confirm, my apologies, holding midfielder, defensive midfielder, £60 million, 22 years of age, joined from Boca Juniors. So I don't know anything else about him, in all honesty, and I don't even know of the credibility of the story, but it was a player linked to Liverpool, and I guess I had to bring it to the conversation. So yeah, we're all happy with the supercomputer. Yeah, let's be honest, if the supercomputer had said City won the league by a point, we'd all be saying, bin it, get rid of it, stupid computer. But since it told us what we want to hear, I love the supercomputer. I hail our supercomputer overlords. I indeed welcome them. Right, I need a favour, lads. We're only at 377 likes. If we all take a second and hit that like button, we can get ourselves up to 500 before the stream comes to an end in about 20 minutes' time. If you've seen, what do you think of the new home kit? So, I have seen leaks of all the kits for next year, but I'm struggling to remember which is which, because one of them has the 45-degree change, or 90-degree change, sorry, in the Nike logo. So I can't remember, mate, in all honesty. If the club do not get who they want as manager, do you think Klopp could stay? No. I really don't get any indication from Klopp's body language, interviews, has his surprise at hearing Alex Ferguson changed his mind twice, or at least told United fans he was leaving twice. Nothing has given me the belief that he might change his mind, unfortunately. I wish I could say yes, because let's be honest, we'd all love him to, but yeah, as it is, what's this? Oh, hang on, the staff from Squawka. Sheffield United are the first team in English Football League history to concede 5 goals in 4 consecutive home games across all competitions. That's not a great stat, is it? At home as well, to concede 5 goals. Ouch. Breaking, Chelsea signed supercomputer for 200 million, yeah. But they forgot to do the updates. That'll be their problem. Todd Bowley just keep forgetting the updates. You know, yeah, I'll do them tomorrow. But Todd, no. Updates tomorrow. I signed on a long-term deal. You don't need to worry about it. But Todd, the system's been hacked. Oh, why is it being hacked? You didn't do the updates, Todd. Shit. Knew I should have bought an Apple computer. Craig, do you think Klopp knows who the next manager is? No. I think he probably knows the club are looking fondly towards Alonso. I also don't like that Klopp doesn't have an input. I know he said he doesn't want one and all, but I'd like him to have an input. I'd like him to at least give his 2 cents worth to the owners on the candidates they're looking at. I mean, it doesn't have to be a definitive answer, but I would like his input. So, we asked you guys at the very start of the stream, do you believe the reports from Germany about XABI Alonso? Those reports being that he's looking favourably again towards Bayern Munich. And 72% say no, and 28% say yes. So most of us believe that they're talking out their backside. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks and months. Craig, would you start Adrian against Sparta Prague? No, I wouldn't. I don't see the need to rotate goalkeepers if you're worrying about an injury or whatnot. I get where you're coming from. You know, you are looking to the Man City game. You're looking to the fact that Alisson's going to be out for a bit longer than we expected, perhaps. And if something happened, Kelleher, we'd be up a certain creek without a paddle. I get you. But I'd look at it this way. You know, the way they say players often get injured when they don't go fully into a tackle, that they kind of pull out of the tackle a little bit. I kind of feel the same situation here. I'd continue playing Kelleher in the rhythm he's in. Yeah, I would. I'm very intrigued to see what 11 we go with away against Sparta Prague, by the way, because it's not a gimme of a game, especially away from home. You know, they've knocked out Galatasaray, who obviously were in United's group in the Champions League, dropped into the Europa League and got knocked out. So I'm certainly giving them respect, but it's about getting that balance right, because you certainly don't want to be behind coming back to Anfield. So yeah, it's a tough one. Is Karius still at the club? No, he plays for Newcastle. He played for Newcastle against, was it United recently? I know he played for Newcastle against somebody. I think it was United, but I might be wrong. Also, 464 likes, so please do hit the like button if you haven't done so. And again, thank you to everyone who's helped us. Look at the top corner. 3,687 subscribers to 250,000. Incredible. So yes, it was Arsenal, was it? Apologies, Arsenal. There you go. Thank you for that. So yeah, we are closing in on our target of trying to get to 250,000 subscribers. It truly is amazing. So thank you to everyone, but do please keep hitting that button if you are new to the channel. Well, you only need to hit it once. Just hit it once and then subscribe forever. Please and thank you. I always wanted Royce or Goetze to play for Liverpool. That was my dream. I always wanted David Silva to play for Liverpool. That was one of my dreams, honestly. Another one that David Villa back in the day from Valencia, he was another one I would love to have brought in. Road to 300k. Oh, I don't know. Let's just try and get to the 250k road first and see what opens up in front of us. It is truly, honestly, it's remarkable to me. I think I've told you guys this before, but when we started the channel, our goal, and I mean our end goal, was to try and get somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 subscribers. Right now, as you can see, we're almost at 250,000. Our clips channel is at about 27,300. So if you haven't subscribed to Anfield Agenda Clips, please do check it out. It would be absolutely insane to get a silver play button for a Clips channel attached to the main channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the Clips channel, please search it, Anfield Agenda Clips, give it a sub. we're going to be putting some unique content on there, starting from the Manchester City game, where the social media reactions video that I do on a match day, that will be done for the Clips channel in its entirety. So we're going to make some unique bits of content for the Clips channel. One of them being on a match day, we're going to do the social media fan reaction part on the Clips channel. So do check it out. I wanted Jude so bad, said Imran. Imran, my friend, I was in that camp as well, bro. Very, very much. But now, I've got to be honest, I have a little fanciful wish for Musiala or Wirtz. Either of those two wouldn't go straight. Title race going to go to the wire this year. It's Daniel, did you not see? We already sorted it out, mate. Us and the supercomputer. We're winning it. Job done. Liverpool 86 points, City 85 points, Arsenal 82. So just, book your trip. You can look forward to that. If only it was that simple. Thoughts on Bellingham's red card? So again, haven't seen the incident, but I did read an article that explained it in detail. Tough shit is my response. Ref blew the whistle. So tough. Now there is an argument to say, and I would back this in all honesty, I think that a ref shouldn't be allowed to blow the whistle until the ball goes out of play. That would be my belief. You see it in rugby and other sports. Time is up, and then the next time the ball goes out of play, game over. I think that would be a sensible way to do it in football. Because this instance was Jude Bellingham, obviously, with a header that ended up going in after the whistle was blown. My mind immediately went back to Paul Tierney being a shithouse, blowing up for Sadio Mane when he was clean through on a counter-attack against United with 5 seconds left of the 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, and he blew it up. So I think the ball gone out of play thing would have some legs. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately for Madrid, the whistle was blown before the header was headed. So it is what it is there. But I do think it could lead to a bigger conversation about when... Because it is weird, right? It's one of the only sports where only the referee really knows. So the referee, in his or her discretion, can make it go on longer or not. We all have a fair idea of the stoppage time, but that's a minimum. I can't really think of another sport that referee has that much discretion in around time, I mean. Can't post the super chat. Weird. Don't know why. It's there for me, mate, at the bottom of the chat. But either way, you're here with us, so that's more than enough. I rate Wirtz more than Musiala. Not in a worse team, but just much more deadly. Look, I think they're both very good, and I think both of them have unbelievable careers ahead of them. Varad said the ref was wrong there. In which instance? I don't know which one you mean. The one for us with Mane was criminal. He hadn't even played the 1 minute of minimum time. So that was very annoying. I saw a referee stop the game before either time was up. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I mean, in the AFCON, wasn't there one game where the ref did it twice? If I'm not mistaken. I think there was a game where the ref mistakenly blew up early twice. Wanted to see if I'd seen the 4-4 Tunes vid. The one from the Carabao Cup final reaction. Oh yeah, I've seen it and I'm so happy, mate. So proud to be part of it. Yeah, that was a very proud day in my house, 100%. Can you believe that Musiala came from Chelsea? No. Actually, I didn't know that at all. Just like I didn't know till yesterday that Wirtz came through the Cologne Academy. Learned that yesterday when I was watching something on the Cologne Leverkusen game. So yeah, you live and learn. 4-4 Tunes got the move spot on. They did, David. Yeah. They're the one thing that I feel most self-conscious about. over anything. Because even when I lost loads of weight, the man boobs and the loose skin was still there. So that's my real one thing I'm very self-conscious about, and the reason why I wear lots of loose hoodies. But it is a real thing, and if you want a caricature and a cartoon to be realistic, then I guess the man boobs got to be there. So yes, they did. They got it right, mate. But it's the one thing, as I said, I feel embarrassed by. Not what they did, by the way. I'm not talking about the cartoon. I mean just in general. Final whistle didn't stop Bruno scoring versus Brighton, said Deacon Wood. And there was that the penalty game, or I know there was a penalty after the whistle once. How would you feel if we hypothetically signed Odegaard? Mate, Fred, I was a huge admirer of Martin Odegaard. And when he went to Real Madrid's B team, I was heartbroken. I would have loved Liverpool to sign Odegaard. And Arsenal have got themselves one hell of a good player. Is Alonso going to Bayern? So, Liam, I'm going to tell you what's being reported in Germany. So, this report said, should he leave Bayer Leverkusen this summer, XABI Alonso is leaning towards a move to FC Bayern. Now, I should point out that this is posted from Bayern-friendly media. They are going to say talks have already taken place, not only with his management, but also with Alonso himself, which sounds a bit like tapping up to me. They go on to say the Spaniard would cost a compensation fee of between 15 and 25 million euro. And you'll never guess who that came in from. Florian Plettenberg and Sky Germany. They go on to say Bayern Munich have open discussions with Alonso about replacing Tuchel as head coach. They've received positive signal from Alonso after their initial approaches. Another piece said Bayern have the confidence that if Alonso decides to leave, he will go to Bavaria and not to Liverpool. This is the part that I don't believe for 1 second. XABI believes that Liverpool and the Klopp inheritance is a difficult task to take on. You can lose more than you can win. I think that is nonsense. And if anything, I'd say the other way around makes more sense. Going to Bayern is a hiding to nothing, because you're expected to go in and walk the Bundesliga. You're expected to win the DFB Pokal. You're expected to go deep in the Champions League. And if you don't do that, you'll get the boot. Just like many managers have in recent times. One of them, Julian Nagelsmann, had only lost 3 games in all competitions by the time he got the boot in a season. So I don't for 1 second believe that Alonso would look at the situation at Liverpool and Klopp and feel overawed by the job, or that it's too big. Bullshit. And also, if he does think that way, well, then I don't want him to be the Liverpool manager, because you should never doubt yourself. You want to come into this club and be brimming with confidence. And I don't think that man has had a moment's self-doubt in his career. Look at what he's achieved on and off the pitch. I think it's bullshit coming out from Plettenberg. That's honestly what I want to say. I think it's nonsense that isn't backed up by anything that we can quantify or cross-reference it with, other than trust me. Right, what else we got? Don't forget the top half of the pitch too. I don't know what that means. Craig, will he be dressing up as Newland this Halloween? Probably not, no. I heard he's dressing up as me though, so keep an eye out. Good luck tomorrow at the hospital appointment. Thank you, Tanya. My daughter's up. My wife has brought my daughter up to her grandmother's because it's a 7 a.m. Trip into the hospital tomorrow. So, yeah, she's having her operation tomorrow. And obviously, I'm a little bit on edge about that as well. But fingers crossed, all goes to plan. And she'll be back home soon. But thank you for inquiring. Appreciate you. Road to 500,000, Craig, said Paul Mack. Have faith, mate. This time, not so long ago, you were dreaming of the subs you have now. I never dreamt this big, Paul. And that's the God's honest truth, mate. The 100,000 subscribers was a moment that it was really surreal, to be honest with you. But yeah, you never know. who knows what the future has in store, Paul. We'll keep chugging away and hoping for the best. Is it a big up? No. It's I don't want to go into personal stuff. No, it's not a big operation. No. But it's her first one ever, so obviously she's a little bit nervous, which is of course understandable. Craig, did you see the Inter Miami game? Suarez, the GOAT, bagging 2. Yes, I did. And 2 for Messi as well, if I'm not mistaken. There was a bit of a rout of Orlando. Thank you, Imran and David and everybody else in the chat. Craig, if the Bayern talks are true, do you think we would step up our efforts to look elsewhere? Yes, of course. You would always have to have a plan A, B and C, and look, I don't know if I have my own thoughts on the Alonso Bayern stuff, and I don't buy it, in all honesty. But I also am of the mindset that nobody should ever have to be convinced to come to Liverpool Football Club. You should be swimming across the ocean to get to Liverpool Football Club. And like I said about Michael Edwards, if anybody needs arms twisted or convincing, then you're not that guy for me. It is a job of a lifetime as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, I don't see why anybody, Alonso or elsewhere, should be convinced to come to Liverpool. It is a job that should define your career. I don't think Alonso will be talking to anyone at the moment. I don't believe it either, Kevin. But do you know what would be interesting? I'd be interested to see if Leverkusen respond to what that claim from Plettenberg that they've spoken directly, Bayern Munich, to Alonso. I'd be interested to hear if Leverkusen fire back over that. Craig, could you understand why some Liverpool fans booed Suarez when he played against Barcelona or Atletico Madrid when Suarez was for these Spanish teams? Could I understand why some Liverpool fans booed him? Yeah, because he was a shithouse in the way he left the club. I mean, I totally get why some Liverpool fans would boo him, particularly when he came back to Anfield with Barcelona, because at least for those 90 minutes, he's the enemy. You know? His job was to come and knock us out. Our job was to knock them out. We won. But, I think deep down, a lot of Liverpool fans have a lot of time for Suarez. I certainly do. I love them. But the booing was probably more so for the way he departed the club. That tapping up is probably what they'd be annoyed at. Exactly, Cam. Unless they've given Alonso permission to speak to Bayern, that's a big claim that Plettenberg made, because, they went out of their way to say, not just to his agent, XABI Alonso is going to Liverpool. I love that, Robert. He did spend time in Meath, so he's one of us, right? He's an Irishman. How much would Suarez be in today's prices? 150 million, probably. Most skillful player I've ever seen in a Liverpool shirt. Incredible. Could not make a mermaid. Absolutely unbelievable player. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 90-minute mark. So I will say goodnight to you guys. I will catch you tomorrow, where of course we'll be building up to the Sparta Prague game on Thursday. I'll be putting out my predictions for starting 11 and line up at about 6 o'clock tomorrow as well. So I appreciate you guys being in with us again tonight. Do hit the like button for me before you head off if you haven't done so. Hit the subscribe button also if you haven't yet. And don't forget about our show in Boston as well. If you want to come and see us, tickets will be available on Ticketmaster, or you can use the link in the description of this stream. Thank you for your time as always, my friends, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Much love.